You've been lied to about manifestation. Not by gurus trying to sell you courses, but by science itself, or rather, by the version of science they teach in schools. They tell you that you're powerless, that reality is fixed, that you're just a tiny speck in a vast, uncaring universe. But here's what they don't want you to know. The same quantum physicists who won Nobel Prizes have proven that consciousness literally creates reality, and this discovery is so revolutionary that it threatens everything the establishment wants you to believe about your place in the world. While you've been taught that thoughts and prayers are just feel-good nonsense, quantum mechanics reveals that your consciousness is the most powerful force in the universe, more powerful than nuclear energy, more fundamental than gravity, and more creative than any technology we've ever invented. The dirty secret? This isn't new information. Ancient mystics understood it, Einstein was obsessed with it, and modern billionaires use it daily while keeping the masses distracted with entertainment and endless consumption. Right now, as you're watching this, there are invisible energy fields swirling around you that respond to your every thought, emotion, and intention. Most people go their entire lives without realizing they're swimming in an ocean of infinite possibility, broadcasting weak, chaotic signals that create exactly the mediocre reality they're experiencing. But what if I told you that with just a few simple techniques that take less time than checking your social media, you could literally reprogram the quantum field around you to deliver abundance, success, and synchronicities that will make your friends think you've discovered some kind of cheat code for life? This isn't about positive thinking or visualization exercises that don't work. This is about the hidden science of consciousness that's been kept from you, and in the next few minutes, you're going to learn why everything you think you know about creating your reality is backwards, and how to flip the script starting today. What if everything you've been taught about reality is just the tip of the iceberg? The invisible energy field that surrounds us isn't some mystical concept, it's backed by quantum physics and the revolutionary discoveries of scientists like Max Planck and Niels Bohr. These pioneers showed us that at the quantum level, particles exist in a state of pure potential until observed, literally creating reality through consciousness. This isn't just theoretical anymore, it's the foundation of how the universe operates. Your spiritual journey begins when you realize that you're not separate from this field, you're an active participant in it. The energy around you responds to your thoughts, emotions, and intentions in ways that would blow your mind. Picture this. You're walking through Times Square in New York, surrounded by millions of people, yet you feel completely alone. That's because you're not tuned into the frequency of abundance and connection that's all around you. The same quantum field that allows your smartphone to work wirelessly is the same field that connects you to every person, every opportunity, and every possibility for prosperity. Dr. Amit Goswami, a quantum physicist, demonstrated that consciousness isn't produced by the brain, it's fundamental to the universe itself. When you understand this, you begin to see that your thoughts aren't just random electrical impulses, they're vibrations that interact with the quantum field. Your spiritual evolution accelerates when you realize you're not a victim of circumstances, you're a co-creator of them. The double-slit experiment changed everything we thought we knew about reality. When scientists observed particles, they behaved like particles. When unobserved, they behaved like waves of infinite possibility. Your consciousness works the same way. It collapses the wave function of potential into your experienced reality. Think about that time you were desperately looking for a parking spot in downtown Los Angeles, and suddenly one appeared right where you needed it. That wasn't luck, that was your focused intention interacting with the quantum field. The energy of desperation versus the energy of expectation creates completely different outcomes. When you align your vibration with what you desire, you're not hoping for magic, you're applying quantum physics. Your divine spark isn't separate from science, it's the observer effect in action. Most people live their entire lives unaware that they're swimming in an ocean of infinite potential. The quantum field doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you don't want, it responds to the frequency you're broadcasting. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when you change your thoughts and emotions, You literally change your brain chemistry and the electromagnetic field around your body. This isn't New Age fluff, it's measurable science. Your higher self understands this connection intuitively, which is why meditation and consciousness expansion feel so natural when you finally try them. The universe isn't random chaos, it's an intelligent field of energy that responds to consciousness. When you realize you're not just in the field, but you are the field experiencing itself, everything changes. The pioneers of quantum physics were often ridiculed by their contemporaries, just like spiritual teachers throughout history. Max Planck himself said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental, and matter as derivative from consciousness." Einstein called quantum entanglement spooky action at a distance, but now we know it's the mechanism by which consciousness creates reality. Your spiritual energy isn't separate from the energy that powers stars and galaxies, it's the same fundamental force expressing itself through you. When you walk through Central Park in autumn, feeling connected to the beauty around you, you're experiencing quantum entanglement with the field. The leaves, the trees, the squirrels, and you are all expressions of the same underlying energy. This realization is the first step in understanding how to consciously participate in creation rather than just being a passive observer. What's fascinating is that ancient spiritual traditions understood this connection long before we had the scientific language to describe it. The Vedic texts speak of consciousness as the ground of all being, while quantum physics reveals consciousness as the collapse function of reality. Your journey into understanding this isn't just about personal growth, it's about remembering who you really are at the deepest level. The energy field responds to authenticity, which is why fake it till you make it approaches often fail in the long run. When you align with your true nature, you're not manipulating the field, you're harmonizing with it. This harmony is what creates the effortless flow of abundance and synchronicity in your life, and it's directly connected to practices that have been hidden from mainstream understanding for centuries. Long before modern science discovered electromagnetic fields, ancient civilizations understood the power of spiritual magnetism. The Egyptian pharaohs weren't just rulers, they were master practitioners of energy manipulation, using sacred geometry and precise vibrations to maintain their connection to higher consciousness. In the temples of Karnak, priests would spend decades learning to harness what they called the breath of the gods, an invisible force that could heal, transform, and create reality. These weren't primitive superstitions, they were sophisticated technologies of consciousness that we're only beginning to understand through quantum physics. The same energy that the Egyptians called divine breath is what modern science recognizes as the quantum field. Your spiritual journey connects you to this ancient lineage of wisdom keepers who understood that consciousness and energy are inseparable. Franz Mesmer, the 18th-century German physician, revolutionized our understanding of what he called animal magnetism, the ability to influence others through invisible energetic forces. Mesmer discovered that he could heal people by directing his consciousness and intention toward them, often without physical contact. His work laid the groundwork for modern hypnosis and energy healing, but what most people don't know is that he was tapping into the same quantum field that affects every aspect of your reality. In his sessions in Vienna and Paris, Mesmer would create what he called magnetic crises, where patients would experience profound healing and consciousness expansion. The medical establishment of his time dismissed him as a charlatan, yet his techniques worked consistently. Your divine spark operates through the same principles Mesmer discovered, consciousness directing energy to create specific outcomes in physical reality. The mystery schools of ancient Greece held secrets that modern quantum physics is only now validating. Pythagoras understood that everything in the universe operates on vibrational frequencies, which is why he developed mathematical principles that still govern our understanding of harmony and resonance. His students learned that by changing their internal vibration, they could influence external circumstances, a principle that Neville Goddard would later teach as assumption creates reality. In the caves of Eleusis, initiates would undergo consciousness-altering experiences that revealed the interconnectedness of all things. These weren't drug-induced hallucinations, They were systematic methods for accessing expanded states of awareness. Your higher self recognizes these truths intuitively, which is why ancient wisdom feels so familiar when you encounter it. The universe has been teaching these principles to humans for millennia, but each generation must rediscover them for themselves. Helena Blavatsky, the controversial 19th-century mystic, spent years studying with Tibetan masters who understood the science of consciousness long before Western academia caught up. Her writings on theosophy revealed that what we call spirituality is actually applied physics at the quantum level. In the monasteries of Tibet, monks developed techniques for projecting consciousness beyond the physical body, communicating telepathically, and manifesting physical objects through focused intention. These aren't fairy tales, they're documented abilities that demonstrate the malleable nature of reality when consciousness is properly directed. Your spiritual energy connects you to this same tradition of exploration and discovery. The Tibetan concept of bardo, or the space between thoughts, is remarkably similar to what quantum physicists call the quantum vacuum, a field of infinite potential waiting to be activated by consciousness. Even in America, indigenous traditions understood the power of consciousness to shape reality. The Lakota concept of Wakantanka, the great spirit that flows through all things, describes the same unified field that quantum physicists study today. Native American shamans could predict weather patterns, locate resources, and heal diseases by tuning into what they called the web of life. These weren't primitive beliefs, they were sophisticated technologies of consciousness that worked consistently across generations. When you visit places like Sedona, Arizona, you can still feel the concentrated spiritual energy that indigenous peoples recognized and worked with for thousands of years. Your expansion of consciousness connects you to this ancient understanding that everything is energy, and energy responds to intention. The prosperity and abundance you seek aren't separate from these spiritual principles, they're natural expressions of your alignment with the universal field. What's remarkable is how these ancient practices are being validated by modern research in ways that would have amazed their original practitioners. The Institute of HeartMath has proven that coherent heart rhythms can influence the electromagnetic field around your body, extending up to 8 feet in all directions. This is the same principle that ancient mystics used when they spoke of auras and energy fields. Your co-creation with the universe isn't just metaphysical poetry, it's measurable science. When you understand that consciousness has always been the driving force behind manifestation, you begin to see why certain individuals throughout history seem to possess almost magical abilities. They weren't special, they simply understood principles that mainstream society had forgotten, principles that are now being rediscovered and validated through quantum physics and consciousness research. The most mind-blowing discovery in quantum physics isn't just that consciousness affects reality, it's that your thoughts are literally restructuring the fabric of space-time around you every single moment. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, spent his entire career proving that energy and matter are interchangeable, but what he discovered goes way deeper than E=mc². When you think a thought, you're not just having a mental experience, you're broadcasting a specific frequency into the quantum field that begins rearranging possibilities to match your mental state. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance, but for your higher self, it's as natural as breathing. The universe doesn't distinguish between your real experiences and your imagined ones, it responds to the vibration you're emitting, period. Your spiritual journey becomes exponentially more powerful when you realize that every thought is a prayer, every emotion is a command, and every visualization is a blueprint for creation. Here's where it gets really practical. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what you're actually experiencing and what you're vividly imagining. When you picture yourself walking into that corner office in Manhattan, getting the promotion, or receiving that check in the mail, your neural networks fire in the exact same patterns as if it were happening right now. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that just 7 days of mental rehearsal can literally rewire your brain and change your electromagnetic signature. Think about Olympic athletes who spend hours visualizing their perfect performance. They're not just daydreaming, they're programming their nervous system for success. Your divine spark works the same way. When you consistently imagine yourself living in abundance and prosperity, you're not being delusional, you're using quantum physics to collapse the wave function of possibility into your desired reality. The key is feeling the emotions of having it now, not wanting it in the future. Erwin Schrödinger's famous cat experiment proves that reality exists in multiple states simultaneously until consciousness observes it into existence. Your life right now is like that cat, simultaneously abundant and scarce, successful and struggling, healthy and sick, until you choose which version to observe into reality. Most people unconsciously choose limitation because they've been conditioned to expect it, but when you understand the observer effect, you realize you have the power to choose abundance instead. It's like having a remote control for the universe, but instead of changing channels, you're changing realities. The technique is surprisingly simple. Instead of asking how can I get what I want, start asking how would I feel if I already had it. Then feel those feelings consistently, regardless of external circumstances. Your spiritual energy naturally aligns with whatever you're consistently feeling, and the quantum field responds by manifesting experiences that match those feelings. The most powerful practitioners of mental energy manipulation understand that emotions are the language of the body, while thoughts are the language of the mind, but it's the combination of both that creates what Neville Goddard called the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you can think about your desired outcome while simultaneously feeling the emotions of already having it, you create what physicists call coherence between your heart and brain. This coherent state generates a measurable electromagnetic field that extends beyond your physical body and begins attracting circumstances that match your internal state. It's like becoming a human magnet for your desires. Try this right now. Think about something you want, then instead of focusing on not having it, imagine the moment you receive it and feel the gratitude, excitement, and satisfaction as if it just happened. Hold that feeling for at least 17 seconds. That's how long it takes for a thought to become magnetically attractive according to quantum physics research. What's fascinating is that your subconscious mind, which controls about 95% of your daily behavior, doesn't understand the difference between what's real and what's imagined. This is why athletes who visualize their performance improve almost as much as those who physically practice. Your brain is literally a quantum computer that's constantly processing information from the field and creating your experience based on your predominant thoughts and feelings. When you repeatedly imagine yourself in a state of prosperity and abundance, your subconscious begins to accept this as your new normal and starts making decisions that align with this reality. It's like reprogramming your internal GPS to navigate towards success instead of struggle. The expansion of consciousness happens when you realize that you're not a victim of your circumstances, you're the programmer of your experience. Your thoughts aren't just random mental chatter, they're the commands you're giving to the universe about what you want to create. The bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science becomes crystal clear when you understand that what mystics called manifestation is actually the conscious application of quantum field dynamics. Your co-creation with the universe isn't magical thinking, it's applied physics. When you learn to direct your consciousness with precision and consistency, you're not hoping for miracles, you're applying natural laws that govern how reality operates. The most successful people in history, from Thomas Edison to Oprah Winfrey, have intuitively understood these principles without necessarily having the scientific language to explain them. They knew that persistent mental focus combined with emotional intensity creates measurable changes in the quantum field. Your spiritual journey accelerates exponentially when you stop seeing yourself as separate from the creative force of the universe and start recognizing that you are that force expressing itself through human form, and there are specific ancient practices that can help you harness this power in ways that most people never discover. The most powerful technique for controlling your energy field isn't some complicated ritual, it's what Neville Goddard called living in the end, and modern quantum physics proves why it works so effectively. When you consistently imagine yourself already having what you desire, you're not just daydreaming, you're literally broadcasting a specific frequency into the quantum field that begins reorganizing reality to match your mental state. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research with thousands of participants shows that just 20 minutes of focused visualization daily can rewire your neural networks and change your electromagnetic signature within a week. Picture this: every morning when you wake up in your apartment in Brooklyn, instead of immediately checking your phone, you spend those first precious minutes feeling grateful for the life you're creating. You imagine walking into your dream home in the Hollywood Hills, feeling the marble floors under your feet, seeing the city lights through floor-to-ceiling windows. The key is making it so real that your body believes it's happening now, not someday in the future. Here's a technique that will blow your mind: the I Am meditation that connects you directly to your higher self in the universal field of consciousness. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and instead of trying to quiet your thoughts, simply repeat I am silently to yourself. Don't add anything after it, just I am. This phrase connects you to the same creative force that sparked the Big Bang, the same energy that grows trees and beats your heart. Ancient mystics understood that I am is the name of the divine spark within you, and modern physics confirms that consciousness is the fundamental force of the universe. As you repeat this phrase, you'll notice your breathing naturally deepens, your heart rate becomes more coherent, and you begin to feel an expansion in your chest area. This isn't just relaxation, you're literally synchronizing your personal energy field with the cosmic field of infinite possibility. Practice this for just 15 minutes daily, and you'll start noticing synchronicities and opportunities appearing in your life that seem almost magical. The quantum field responds to specificity and emotional intensity, which is why vague wishes rarely manifest while clear intentions backed by strong feelings create rapid results. Here's a practical technique you can use right now. Write down exactly what you want as if you already have it, using present tense and specific details. Instead of I want to be rich, write I am grateful for my monthly income of $50,000 that allows me to live in my beautiful oceanfront home in Malibu and support my family generously. Then, read this statement every morning and evening while feeling the emotions of already having it. Your brain will begin to accept this as your new reality and start filtering information and opportunities that align with this vision. The expansion of consciousness happens when you realize that the universe is always saying yes to whatever you're consistently feeling and believing. Your spiritual journey accelerates when you stop asking how can this happen, and start asking how does it feel to have this already. The difference between these two questions is the difference between lack and abundance. One of the most powerful but overlooked techniques is what I call quantum gratitude, feeling thankful for things that haven't physically manifested yet. When you can genuinely feel grateful for your desired outcomes as if they've already happened, you're creating a coherent energy field that magnetizes those experiences into your reality. It's like sending a thank you note to the universe before receiving the gift. Try this exercise. Every night before bed, spend 5 minutes feeling deep gratitude for 3 things you want to manifest, speaking as if they've already occurred. Thank you for my perfect health that allows me to wake up energized every morning. Thank you for my soulmate relationship that brings so much joy and growth into my life. Thank you for my thriving business that serves thousands of people while generating abundant prosperity. This isn't positive thinking, it's quantum physics in action. Your energy field literally begins to vibrate at the frequency of having rather than wanting, and the universe responds by bringing you experiences that match that vibration. The most advanced practitioners understand that controlling your energy field isn't about forcing outcomes, it's about becoming a vibrational match for what you desire. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when you can maintain elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and love for extended periods, you literally begin to reorganize your genetic expression and cellular structure. Your body becomes a living magnet for abundance and prosperity. Here's a powerful technique: choose one elevated emotion, like gratitude or joy, and practice maintaining it for progressively longer periods throughout your day. Start with just 60 seconds of pure, focused gratitude while walking through Central Park or sitting in your car before work. Gradually increase to 5 minutes, then 10, then 20. As you master this skill, you'll notice that your external world begins to shift dramatically. Opportunities appear from nowhere, relationships improve, and resources flow to you with increasing ease. This isn't coincidence, it's the natural result of aligning your personal energy field with the frequency of creation itself. The final technique that separates masters from beginners is what Neville Goddard called revision, the practice of mentally rewriting past experiences to align with your desired reality. Since quantum physics proves that time isn't linear and all possibilities exist simultaneously, you can literally change your past by changing your memory of it. This isn't about denying what happened, it's about choosing which version of events to energetically align with. If you had a difficult day at work, before going to sleep, replay the day in your mind exactly as you wish it had happened. See yourself confident, successful, and appreciated. Feel the satisfaction of a job well done. Your subconscious mind will begin to accept this revised version as real, and your future experiences will start to match this new pattern. Your co-creation with the universe reaches its highest expression when you realize that you're not just manifesting your future, you're actively participating in reshaping your entire timeline to support your highest potential. This is the level of consciousness where true spiritual mastery begins, and it's available to anyone willing to practice these principles consistently. So here's the million-dollar question that's going to determine whether you stay stuck in mediocrity or finally step into your true power. Are you ready to stop being a passive observer of your life and become the conscious creator you were born to be? Right now, as you're watching this, the quantum field is responding to your thoughts and emotions. Every single moment you spend doubting your ability to manifest abundance is a moment you're unconsciously creating more lack. But here's the thing, your higher self already knows you're capable of extraordinary things. Your divine spark isn't waiting for permission, it's waiting for you to remember who you really are. The techniques I've shared with you aren't just theories, they're the same principles that transformed my life from struggling paycheck to paycheck in a cramped studio apartment in Queens to living in complete abundance and spiritual alignment. The difference between people who manifest their dreams and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or connections, it's the willingness to apply quantum physics to their daily consciousness practices. I'm not asking you to believe me, I'm challenging you to prove it to yourself. Pick one technique from this video and commit to practicing it for just 7 days. Whether it's the I Am meditation, quantum gratitude, or living in the end like Neville Goddard taught, choose the one that resonates most with your soul and dive deep. Your spiritual journey and expansion of consciousness don't happen through passive consumption of content, they happen through consistent application of universal principles. The universe is literally conspiring to support your prosperity and co-creation, but you have to meet it halfway through aligned action. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or more information. The perfect moment is now, and you already have everything you need to begin reshaping your reality through the power of your focused consciousness. If this video opened your eyes to the true nature of reality and your unlimited potential within it, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because we're just getting started on this journey of consciousness expansion. Next week, I'm revealing the ancient Tibetan technique that allows you to project your spiritual energy across vast distances and influence outcomes in ways that seem impossible but are actually just advanced applications of quantum entanglement. Your evolution depends on staying connected to this community of conscious creators who refuse to accept limitation as reality. The universe rewards those who seek truth with more truth, so subscribe now and let's continue unlocking the infinite power of your divine spark together.